Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning. It's time to take 5 before I head into the main studio. 4:15 in the morning on Friday, the 10th day of November. Can you believe we're this far into it? Hello from one of the small studios here at our iHeart complex. I feel like I have a contact high this morning. You know, one of the things that happens when you work this schedule, which is kind of like glorified overnights, because you live in the third shift world, but you work technically the first shift, but you're in the third shift world. So you're stuck with all the third shift problems. What do I mean by third shift problems? Well, I mean, you walk into a place that serves, food all night, made to order, and you never know what you're going to get, right? You never know. So you walk in and you're just like punched in the face with some poignant flour, if you know what I mean. And I'm not talking about Miley who can buy her own flowers. I'm talking about flour. This was probably some sort of sativa. But it was the first time I'd smelled it in a minute. Then it kind of was smacked me in the face. I was like, boom. No wonder I got hungry, and I went to get myself some food. Actually, I was going there to get breakfast anyway. But anyway, so if I'm a little distracted, it's because I'm a little contact baked from someone else's weed this morning. No, but, I've taken some notes on the overnight, and there's a few things that I can point out. The best places to go on the overnight for things, right? Number one, can't be Dunkin'. Because Dunkin' doesn't open until 4, 4:30, in some cases 5. It depends on which Dunkin' you go to. The two by me open at 4. One of them opens religiously at 4, the other one at 4 something. I'm not complaining. It is what it is. And sometimes I need to be in at work before 4. Like this morning, I needed to be here before 4. So I can't really put Dunkin' on the list because of when they open. However, if I could put them on the list, they'd be up there pretty high just because they're constantly coming with new stuff. Their hot chocolate's good, their coffee's good, their iced coffee's good. I just run on Dunkin'. Now, what is open all night, but you have to drive to get to, is Starbucks. They're open all night at one location, full menu. But like anything in the middle of the night, it's going to take you a little bit. Although they're pretty quick when it comes to the drive-through line in the middle of the night at the all-night Starbucks drive-through. And like I said, too, they have pretty much the full menu. So if you want one of their breakfast items, they can pull that off. If you want one of their coffee-type items or beverage drink items, you can pull that off. They're on the list, top 5, pushing top 3. Pretty good. Just have to make the drive to get there, and it's not an easy on or off of the interstate to get to it. Brings me up to my next good all-night place to go, 7-Eleven. You know what you're going to get at 7-Eleven. If there were a Royal Farms closer, it would probably be the same sort of a thing, but 7-Eleven is 7-Eleven. In Texas, they call them stripes. You get what you get at 7-Eleven. You know they've got Slurpees. You know they've got the 7-Eleven Pedialyte if you need it. Depending on where you are in the country, they probably have some wine. Some of them have some sort of Fireball, but it's not the real Fireball. It's like the Fireball Light Fireball. But nonetheless, 7-Eleven, you know what you're going to get. They get 5 stars. Well, they get 4 stars from me. Pretty good stuff all night. Again, if a Royal Farms were close by, they'd probably be fighting for that position. Same thing with Wawa. Now, the number one place to go all night, Sheetz, because they have a full MTO menu, including some breakfast stuff you can get. Their hot chocolate is great. Their hot coffee beverages are good. Their lattes are good. Their self-serve coffee is cheap. They have all the options you could want. They have their own version of slushies. They've got their own fountain drinks and 0-calorie lemonade, and you can put cherry flavoring in it, which is what I do to make cherry lemonade. It's just a thing for me, Sheetz, because Sheetz is just a thing for me. But really, when it comes to being open all night, they're the best. The one thing about Sheetz that I will say would keep them from 5 stars, but nonetheless they would have 4.5 to 4.75 stars, is that it takes a minute for your order at Sheetz to get done. Now, I don't know if it's because in the middle of the night they're kind of, staffed lighter or not, but I do know that I have to plan on 20 minutes or maybe even 30 minutes total time on the ground at Sheetz if I'm going to get breakfast before I come into work, which means I need to be there at 3:30ish or 3:15ish to try to get out the door by 3:45 and get into the building by, like, say, 4. You know what I mean? So every place has their own thing. Sheetz wins when it comes to the size and the breadth and the customization of the menu, availability of options 24/7, 365, and gasoline. And they have, like, lots of beverages, and they have, like, fountain drinks, and they have their own slushies, right? They just take some time to cook the food. 7-Eleven is what it is. You know what you're going to get. Oh, McDonald's would have made the list, but McDonald's, you have to use the app because sometimes in the middle of the night, McDonald's shuts down their systems to upload what their, receipts were like from the previous day, and that shuts everything down. So if you don't have cash, you're screwed. Or if you order on the app, you're good to go. But sometimes, in the morning, you don't have time to order on the app. You know what I mean? But again, if you could count on the fact that they would be ready to go should you pull up with, like, say, your credit card, they would have made the list. Because McDonald's is open all night. They have good selection. They have good stuff. But again, if you go at the wrong time, you're going to be out of luck with a credit card. So anyway, just notes I've taken in the middle of the night as I've done fast food meandering over the distance and the commute to get in and out of the office every morning. Just thought I would share in case you care. And if you don't, well, be sure to like and subscribe anyway, and I'll try very, very hard to read the comments and make sure I do a better job for you. Love, Toby.